Hey people, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 46 of the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Last time, we did another round of deduction with Sherlock, and we discovered that Eggert was actually the one lying. He came to the shop to get the coat and to get the music disc that basically Gina was getting out for Magnus McGilded. It belonged to Magnus McGilded, and now we're learning that Magnus McGilded is somehow behind this, even though he's dead. And now we are going to continue on. Pray tell, Miss Usato.
Well, according to what Mr. Windibank told us earlier, today was the final day on which the code could have been redeemed, was it not?
Yes, ma'am. That is correct. Today would be precisely 2 months since it was first deposited.
Well, today is the 15th of April, so 2 months ago today.
Would have been the 15th of February, sir. That's right. It's all carefully recorded in my ledger. Deposited at 10:30 p.m., I see.
What? But that suggests...
Yes, the 15th of February is precisely the day on which the omnibus murder took place. And 10:30 in the evening is precisely the time at which the terrible events were unfolding.
Suggestive is not the word. It would seem the matter is entirely beyond coincidence. You are, of course, at liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose. However, I have a gun. I must insist you hand over the music box disc now. Why the hell didn't I do this to begin with? I do not know. It would be a terrible shame for you to return to your native land in a box. Ah! What do I do? Absolutely not! No, Ryunosuke will live. Have you not seen Ryunosuke's life? Freaking Ryunosuke! He's not afraid of death. There are some things a man must protect at all costs. This may be well one of those things. Then again, it may not.
Mr. Windibank! Oh yeah, I have a gun. We all have guns here. I'm gonna take you out with one bullet.
No, Windibank takes himself out.
Wait a minute.
And then Windibank just shoots himself in the head.
No, they can't get me. This is my shop. I can't allow anyone to come to my customers. If that were to happen, I would have to take my own life.
How is this a threat? How is this a legitimate threat? The guy is willing to kill people over that music box thing. So you think he's gonna care about another body being added to the pile? Mr. Windibank, no! At least aim the gun at him!
Oh, that's enough!
Alright, I don't know who said it. Inspector Gregson! Inspector? That's right, sunshine. The alarm was raised on one of our dedicated emergency lines. So we got here as fast as we could. Now, what's this all about, eh?
Oh, praise be! You're here at last! Please take Mr. Holmes out of my shop! Please! He's been disturbing the peace for months! I was moments away from forfeiting my life in my very own establishment.
It would seem you have the upper hand. Right, you know I have some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty, angry argy-bargy.
Patty, Mr. Windibank very nearly made it with his end.
Yeah, boy's ain't gone as far as I can tell.
Oh dear!
And now the Britain could meet its end with its end if we don't get to the bottom of the case I'm supposed to be working on. What? What on earth is that case, Inspector?
Spare no deal, Gregson.
Oh, I might have said a little too much. No matter, it's nothing to do with you lot. Anyway, sir, you're going to have to come with me down to the station. But of course, Inspector. Ah! He's getting away! Get after him, lads! Whistle the beat officer too! Sir! That moment when you're defeated by a spin. You're defeated by a guy who was spinning. You were defeated by a guy embracing his inner Crash Bandicoot. And then Gregson just, please don't write that bit in the next book, please. And then, Sorry, Mr. Gregson, too late. Our Miss Wilson is already on it. And then Iris is just editing it into her next story.
This is gonna be a running joke, Holmesy.
So we follow emergency buttons underneath the carriages for brokers to let us know when there's trouble. Especially brokers who have my stuff. Oh, Inspector, I was very worried there for a while. I'm very worried indeed. Now then, Mr. Permanently in morning. Oh, yes? I'll be taking that whatever it is McGilded down to the yard. Thank you very much. This could be one of them porno tapes. I don't know what McGilded does. I mean, for God's sake, every other sentence he's telling someone to take off the shirt and dance for him. He tosses the money at them. He doesn't even do it with respect or dignity. All he does is just throw the corn at them. So hand it over. Oh yes, of course. No, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is mine. I'm sorry, miss. But anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now. As evidence? If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. Okay. And then they hand over the coat. Oh, why is this coat feel sticky? And why is there a weird film on it? Actually, I'll take it, don't you get out the coat. And so we handed Mr. McGilded's disc over to Inspector Gregson. And we're summarily turfed out of the shop and onto the streets. Why can't I read today? To be continued. Okay. Waiting for the slow to be continued. Save current progress. No, I don't want to save. 15th of April, Baker Street.
See, that's why I ain't grown-ups. All they do is feed you a pack of lies and take stuff away from you.
Oh, really, Mr. Lestrade? Tell me, is that oracle keeping you warm?
What? Oh my, surely you were given that. Yeah, the D let me keep it after I looked daggers at him for long enough. He went through the pockets and said, go on then, have it, before telling me to scarpa. Always pays off giving people a look like you ate them.
Yes, little do we know that Gina was the one who taught Manfred's ancestors, basically, who taught them on Carmeline the art of glare at anyone. Just when in doubt, glare at people. I can't help feeling that it's going to get you into serious trouble one day. I don't know, Minazuke, it served Edgeworth pretty well.
What I really wanted was that nice shiny disc, mind. The music box disc?
But Mr. Windibank said it was practically worthless.
I think I'm gonna go and have another bash. Give him a long, hard stare.
I think no, Mr. Strayed. We shan't into Mr. Windibank's again today.
Why not? That's not fair.
It can't be helped, I'm afraid. The police are investigating the scene now and taking a statement from Mr. Windibank.
But the disc's mine. I had the ticket for this coat, and it was in this coat's pocket. And there should be something else and all. That's what the Ryan Cove said, ain't it?
Yes, he did mention something about another article, didn't he?
Well then, that's mine too, whatever it is.
Now she's really pushing her luck.
Mr. Lestrade, I think it's time to admit defeat. You've had your haul for the day.
Yeah, and it's all your fault, Cholmes.
So what are your plans now? Will you dine with us this evening? Iris would be delighted to cook, I'm sure, and I might entertain you with a modest violin recital. And as for our beverages, though, we drink artequinine, the finest of all seasonings and poisons.
Nota.
Oh?
Why would I come round your place, eh? Have you lost your head or something? Oh dear, she's gone.
Having reviled on me quite unnecessarily, I might add.
Can't help wondering if perhaps she might turn up anyway. Interesting. Once she's had her chance of going down, I think there's a good chance she'll decide to come. Very well then. I'll inform Iris to set a plate for our potential guest at the dinner table this evening. And one more thing. I should be glad of your company later too.
Sorry?
Sorry? I believe I will have a rather splendid surprise to show you.
Oh, how exciting! What is it?
You shall have to wait and see, Miss Usato. Until later, then. Anything new? We investigate that. We investigate that. We investigate everything. Let's move. Sholmes is sweet. Something's happening. Yep. 15th of April. 3:46 p.m. Sholmes is sweet.
Ah, Susie and Runo! Come in!
Good afternoon, Iris.
Thank you so much for breakfast this morning. Oh, don't mention it! Goodness, look at the time already!
Busy as always?
I am! I'm preparing everything for dinner this evening!
Already? You're obviously cooking something very special, are you?
Oh yes, after all, we have a special guest joining us. I have to make sure the Otter Queen is applied properly. Guess who it is? Go on! You'll never guess!
Look at those little eyes of hers shining.
Oh dear, it is awkward when you already know the answer, isn't it? It's Ginny! Isn't that exciting? Oh, what a surprise! Yes, that's wonderful news.
Wow, Iris seems overjoyed at the idea.
I'll finally get my revenge on her! She won't be able to run away after she ingests a good chunk of Otter Quinine. I can't wait to learn some pickpocketing tips from a real professional.
Oh yes, that does sound like fun.
I'm not sure that's entirely appropriate, are you, Mr. Naruto?
By the way, Iris, what's Mr. Sholmes up to?
Oh, he's been like that ever since he got back. He said something about building a giant crab robot.
Hello, Mr. Sholmes. I beg that you won't speak to me. Sorry? I don't know who you are, but kindly take your leave. As you can see, I'm not here. I just love the chaotic energy of Holmes. I just do. I don't know how to respond to that.
I do apologize. When he gets like this, he's completely oblivious to everything.
Yes, I see.
Really? He behaves just like a child sometimes. Hurley does. I have to take care of him. I paid the bills. I have to make his meals. I am his mother. Oh my gosh, I'm 10 years old and already a mother to a 30-year-old man.
Mr. Sholmes and Iris have something of a parent and child relationship, don't they? Yes, except that Iris is clearly the parent here. This is actually a little scary because I actually brought this up in the description of episode 30, which I just uploaded today. I just uploaded it about 2 or so hours ago. It's creepy. The game is reading my mind. This is why I love Holmes and Iris's relationship, really. It's just they have this odd couple thing going where basically Iris is essentially like Holmes' mother, but yet they have just such a good chemistry. Come to think of it, I wonder where her real parents are.
What's the matter, Runo? You have ever such a funny look on your face.
Oh no, it's nothing.
I know what it is. Why does this girl live here with Mr. Sholmes? You're wondering, am I right?
How? How did you?
Everyone asks me that every day. Oh, Runo, I can read you like a book.
Ugh, this girl is dangerous.
Don't worry, you can ask me anything. I won't mind.
Present. We already presented that. Anything new? Anything new? Anything new over here? No, no, no. Let's examine Sherlock. Actually, no, we can actually investigate a little more over here. Let's investigate the Stradivarius. Now, this really is Mr. Sholmes' faithful performing partner, then. The Stradivar, the Strappy Scar, the Scapifarius. No, it's no good. It's gone. the virtuoso's violin that we found in the pawnbrokers and managed to buy for the next morning for next to nothing.
After all we went through to get back, he's just cast us out on that chair. I was looking forward to hearing the beautiful sound it makes when Mr. Sholmes plays it.
It does look rather sorry for itself there, doesn't it? Although, at least Wakahai hasn't attacked it yet, even if his eyes are saying it's only a matter of time. So, Mr. Sholmes, why are you so engrossed in? Did you not hear? I am not here! Of course you're not. I cannot think why the whole bed of the ocean is not one-sided mass of oysters, so prolific the creatures seem. He won't even turn around and look at me.
It's best to leave him alone when he's in one of his moods like this.
Yes, I can see that. I swear, this is probably how Kristoff was on a normal day, just work day. He's just at his desk pondering these things. And meanwhile, Apollo, he's just confused. Converse. Ginny. So by Ginny, you mean Miss Lestrade, the young woman from the McGilded case 2 months ago, right?
Yes. Who also saw my experimental smoke grenade launcher? Although after that trial, I invited her back here and we had dinner together. And now we're the best of friends.
And then meanwhile, I'm just getting some massive Kristoff vibes. Iris is spying on basically Gina. Gina doesn't know that Iris is spying on her. Gina is already buying the poisons. Next thing Gina knows, Iris is gonna ask,
"Oh, hey, Ginny, you mind mailing this a letter for me? You mind licking this stamp for me and mailing this letter out?" Oh, what a lovely tale. Yes, now I bump into her on the streets. She runs away as fast as she can. Oh. And I chase after her down the back alleys.
Like I said, I can easily imagine Iris being an ant figure for Kristoff, basically. Like I said, she's one of those 100-plus-year-old women who basically lives forever. She's spry. She's spry, if not just a little... If she can't move it, even though she can't move as fast, she basically still has all her capacities. And basically, she gives Kristoff all these lessons. She was basically Kristoff's mentor in the family. Passing all of Sherlock's wisdom down to Kristoff, making sure that Sherlock's descendant has all the craziness he needs. Interesting idea of friendship.
And then I let her add the latest color of smoke grenade I developed. Oh. There's so many beautiful colors in the world. Ginny wants me to make a whole rainbow.
I suppose this means you've let Miss Lestrade keep the smoke grenade launcher, have you?
Yes, that's right. I got bored of it. Anyways. Hurley always reacts the same way when I shoot him with it now.
Poor Hurley.
Oh, I can't wait for Ginny to arrive. Right. For Ginny to arrive. It's been so long since she came over last. I'm so excited.
I just hope she does actually come. Living with Sholmes.
I'm sure you've been wondering why it is that I live here with Hurley, haven't you?
Well, it's crossed my mind. That and where are your real parents?
My mommy and daddy aren't with me anymore. Mommy passed away when I was born. And then around that time, my father, well, he had to go to a faraway land because of one of the cases he and Hurley were working on.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you say he and Hurley?
Yes! Daddy and Hurley were always solving mysterious cases together.
She didn't mention that before.
He wrote them all up in his diaries. That's what's in the chest over there.
Really? He recorded them all?
So, you mean it's true? Mr. Sholmes? Really, to have a partner with whom he tackles some of his most taxing cases? Oh, yes. I mean, it's always nice to have one, isn't it?
So Mr. Sholmes' partner was your father?
Exactly. Hurley told me I wasn't allowed to look in the chest. But that only made me want to look even more, so I opened it up. And found your father's memoirs? Yes, so I asked Hurley, who wrote these? He nearly fell out of his chair. But then he told me. That's when I found out that the author of all those accounts was my father.
So Iris's father was Mr. Sholmes' partner. Yes, the father.
I practically lived with Hurley all my life. I was tiny when he took me in. So it came as quite a shock when Hurley told me he wasn't really my daddy. I mean,
Frankly, Iris should be shocked that Holmes didn't drop her at least once. I swear, I can easily imagine just Sherlock accidentally dropping an infant at least 3 times. Easy. It must have done. It must have done. Wait, let me just see what that is. Yeah, it must have done.
I wonder why Mr. Sholmes chose to tell you and at such a young age. Hurley says it's because he wouldn't have been able to hide it from me. Oh? Well, having lived with Hurley all these years, you might say you knew that his ways have rubbed off on me. That's some things I can just see. Especially lies. I almost know when people are lying before they open their mouths sometimes.
Right.
Anyways, I was so fascinated when I read Daddy's diaries. That's what inspired me to write The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, actually.
I'd always assumed Mr. Sholmes simply told you all those thrilling stories.
I know. Honey's hopeless like that. He forgets everything. As soon as he solved the case, it's all but vanishes from his mind. Oh, I see. The other day, it was so embarrassing. As usual, he totally forgot about the case he just solved. So the very next day, he gathered together all the people involved and proceeded to solve the case again. It was quite a shock for everyone.
You can say that again.
You share your father's surname, don't you, Iris? That's right, Wilson. Daddy is Dr. John H. Wilson. I learned from his diaries that he's a doctor of medicine, you see. That's what prompted me to study and study so I could earn a doctor as well.
Iris's father, who went to some distant land, and is a doctor by the name of John H. Wilson.
The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruto. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case.
The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. That's right, visiting professor of medicine at Imperial Yumai University, and the man who, in the most bizarre circumstances, lost his life just before we left Japan. Miss Usato.
Yes?
Perhaps we shouldn't pursue this conversation any further at this time.
I think that would be for the best.
Yeah, here's how you bring that up, Ryunosuke. So anyways, I was accused for your father's murder. Ah, my dear fellows, how good to see you!
Eek! Mr. Sholmes!
Whatever did you not make your presence known to me before? Well, no matter now. So, how the devil are you? We've been with you for most of the day. Goodness, really?
Do tell me, Mr. Sholmes, is your violin unscathed?
My violin? Whatever are you talking about, dear madam?
Oh,
Never mind that now. I have something far more interesting to show you. Behold, my dear fellows, a disc containing the finest pornography in all of London.
Oh, another music box disc.
No, not another disc, Miss Usato. This is the one Gregson demanded we hand over as evidence, Mr. McGilded's disc.
Oh my!
Then, what's it doing here? I hit him over the head with a shovel. That. You know, at times with Naruto, I think that though I have an undeniable talent for detection, I may very well even be more adept at larceny.
Ooh, that would be wonderfully exciting. I'm your pickpocketing assistant. And Nuno could be our go-to lawyer if we ever got caught.
Right.
Plus, Susie has such a beautiful handwriting. She You could write automatic crime notifications.
Yeah, I love how Iris is saying about crime ring. Iris should just hang up this crime ring, really. This girl taught Kristoff something. I'm sorry. Kristoff learned everything he knew from Iris, as well as Sherlock's diary. Just,
Yes, I'd be delighted.
I'm just going to pretend this conversation never happened, I think. No additions, no anything. The music box disc. Yeah, we'll finish up the conversation and then we'll end the episode off. I don't understand. How did that disc come to be in your position? I thought Inspector Gregson took it back to Scotland Yard. Quite correct. And that sort of uncompromising attitude is precisely why I always carry around some of this.
That's a bar of caramel, Mr. Sholmes.
Your one and only friend in times of loneliness, if I'm not mistaken. If you will humor me, my dear fellows, cast your minds back to when the good detective confiscated the disc. I'll be taking that whatever it is and be getting it out to the yard. Thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh yes, of course. If the police demand something as else, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. For the previous moment, I had the disc in my hand, did I not? Yes, you did, but I still don't understand. It was at precisely that moment that I summoned my one and only friend into action. I presented the disc into a pair of bars. I pressed the disc into a pair of bars like this. That's amazing. The disc and all the minuscule protrusions have made an image in the caramel. Indeed, the caramel is quite exceptional. I developed it myself, you know. Suitably soft for making impressions, but resistant to melting. The result of a precisely controlled solution.
How extraordinary.
Carry a pair of these on one's person frequently proves quite useful indeed. Take a house key, for example. A simple press in its unique form is duplicated. I can enter anyone's property at will, and never without high sucrose nourishment. Yeah, seriously, now I'm just imagining Kristoff forging keys with caramel. Kristoff breaks into the Right Anything Agency with a freaking caramel bar key. Yeah, basically, Kristoff breaks out of jail one day, and then Phoenix, he comes back to the law firm, and he sees Kristoff sitting at his desk. Hello, Right? Kristoff takes out a gun. Kristoff, how'd you get in here? Oh, right. You underestimate me. You underestimate me and my family secrets. Behold, the 2 bars of caramel that I used to get in. Yes, it sounds illegal. From the image, I was able to create this. I confess I was most curious to know what manner of music would issue from the disc when played. The music on the disc.
Do tell us then, Mr. Sholmes. What music does the disc play?
Well, unfortunately, I have no idea. No idea? None whatsoever. Are you familiar with the workings of a music box, my dear fellows? No, I'm afraid not.
Goodness, you don't know, Bruno? Inside a music box is a special metal piece called a comb. That's what produces the sound. Small protuberances pluck the different teeth of the comb as they rotate past it, making the different notes. The first music box is to be invented using a rotating cylinder with protuberances on it.
But over time, a new type of player was produced, which uses discs such as these. With the development, the popularity of music boxes spread far and wide, all around the globe.
Why exactly?
Because the discs are easy to produce and can be interchanged to facilitate the playing of different tunes. There are a great many firms in Europe now manufacturing music boxes as a result.
It is wonderful to be able to enjoy music even when no performer is present.
But it is the very success of the invention that means we are now presented with an insurmountable problem. What do you mean? As you may imagine, the construction of one firm's music box does not match that of another, and we have no way of knowing in which music box this particular disc was designed to be played. There's no resolution to this problem, I'm afraid. It's quite intraceable. Ah, I see, so that's why. Naturally, I tested the disc in those few music boxes I have at my disposal. But as you can hear, to no avail. The results are equally unsatisfactory in this one. So, I am presently engaged in acquiring an example of the music boxes ever made in Europe. All the music boxes!
Every single one? That's early for you. I'm taking things too far. Damn it, Holmesy. That's why I got rid of the opium bags.
Oh, speaking of which, Iris, we're going to need to buy some more opium. Somehow the opium's gone. How could it be gone? I made sure it was up against the wall.
I don't know. So she took it. Don't blame me.
But my dear girl, an unsolved riddle is quite repugnant to my constitution. But surely all the different types in Europe will amount to a huge volume of music boxes, won't they? Yes, that is certainly true. In the worst case, I shall just have to ask you to vacate the attic room. What? Magnus McGilded. Yeah, Ryunosuke has to buy a new house because Sherlock needed the egg for 1 billion music boxes. Magnus McGilded, not a name I expect to hear again so soon. Yes, it's only been 2 months since that grisly case. Mr. McGilded perished within hours of the trial's conclusion. Was it the curse of the Reaper? No one knows still now. The omnibus was reduced to a pile of ash. Not a shred of evidence remained. And with the man's death, the truth about the murder in which he was so intimately involved was buried. Even though we successfully established Mr. McGilded's innocence at the trial.
The newspapers are still claiming that it remains an unsolved case. The murder of the brickmaker, Mr. Thrice-Fried Mason.
The murder of the brickmaker, Mr. Thrice-Fried Mason. In the end, the truth of the matter remains a mystery. We still have no idea what really happened that night. And although Mr. McGilded was found not guilty through my defense, I still don't know if that was the right judgment or not. It would appear the case is not yet closed.
Well, it's time I start getting things ready for dinner, I think.
And I think it's time for me to end the episode off. Anyways, I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and I hope you come back for the next one. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you want. I'll see you next time. Bye.